Hello, YouTube friends and family, and welcome to another Techi Tech Cisco Packet Tracer lab. In this lab, we're going to be working in logical view. I have grouped a network over here called remote location. I have grouped a network over here called this is where you are. Imagine that you have an office that you go to, headquarters or some sort, where you have a computer and you manage remote location. Now, please do not go into the remote location. It is supposed to be hidden from you, and you're going to manage it remotely. You can't physically see it because you're not physically there. You physically drive to this area, this cluster called this is where you are. And when you click on that, left click on that, you're brought over here. So you have your computer and you're connected to some switch and you're connected to that network on the other side. All right, so we have some information here. You get to work and you get an email. It says I need to know the two PCs, the IP addresses, and their switch port numbers. Right? That's how it starts. Now, this video is actually built off a part two, so to speak, of another video I made where there are only two PCs. In this case, I've added a third element, actually a fourth element. I've added one more switch, and I've added a laptop to the remote site. And the laptop does not have a MAC address provided. The two PCs don't have IP addresses provided. If you already completed the last video, the first portion of this should be much easier because you've seen it before. But it is good to practice, to repeat the same labs over and over until you get better at it. There's a bonus. So there's a bonus here if you can convert your Telnet to SSH. Go through the steps of configuring that. The username should be Superman, and the secret should be canfly. All right. So let's look at the instructions for a second. You navigated to this is where you are. That's the name of the cluster. This is where you are, and so you're in here. You're told that you can use Telnet. You can Telnet a router to find the MAC addresses of PC3, 4, and laptop 1 using their IP addresses. The IP addresses provided and password. You can Telnet to switches to learn more about PC3, 4, and laptop 1, LT1, to find out the MAC addresses and their switch ports. And in the fourth instruction, it says the switch port, which switch and port is 10.16.11.254 on. Now you have the IP address 10.16.11.254. You just don't have the MAC address. Someone calls you, hey, there's this laptop at this site, this remote site. I don't know what switch port it's connected to, but here's the IP address. Go to town. You're the network engineer. And of course, the bonus. All right, we Telnet. We want to make this remote site more secure. The last engineer thought everything should be Telnet, and it's Telnet sends traffic. Your username and password in plain text. This is not secure. Man in the middle attack will grab that information, and you get compromised. So let's begin. Let's go to PC4. All right. Now I provided a hint here. Let's not look at that information yet. We're gonna need that later. It's a bit of a cheat. I was in here earlier testing things. If you saw it, oh well. Still do the lab anyway. If you didn't, all right. So I provided a hint. I spelled hints incorrectly. Hints, not hits. Although I hope this becomes a hit. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for supporting the Teji Tech Cisco Network Training Labs channel. That was a lot. That was a mouthful. Try repeating that again. All right, so PC4. We're on the Windows command line. And first thing I want to do is type ipconfig. I want to know what network I'm on. So ipconfig. Tell me, like show IP interface brief. I want to know my interfaces. I'm interface F fast Ethernet 0. And I've assigned 192.168.1.2. I'm going to /24 subnet mask, and this is my default gateway, 192.168.1.1. All right, so I know a little bit about where I am, my general area. Now let's connect to the router as instructed in instruction number 2. So Telnet. Now in Packet Tracer, quick segue, there is a specific application you can use for Telnet and SSH There's an application you can use for PuTTY, like terminal connection when you're using console. But I'm going to use command prompt. I'm comfortable in command prompt. I enjoy it. So Telnet 10.16.11.1. That's where I want to go. All right. So it's asking us for our Telnet password. So the Telnet password is Cisco123, as shown over here in the top left corner. Cisco123. Now, if you're typing and you don't see anything, it's your first time using Cisco command line. As you're typing the password, you will not actually see it being displayed, any star characters on the screen. You are typing it. So just note that. Enable, and we're going to be asked for the enable secret. All right, so the enable secret is Cisco. Let's enter that. And now we're in the router. Okay, so if what, let me just do this. Clear IP. Clear. Okay. Now, I did some stuff earlier, so the ARP table is filled out. Let's hope that it's cleared and you get full experience. All right, so we want to use the hints, right? ARP table. Routers have ARP tables. They collect, they resolve IP to MAC address. So if we look, say show IP ARP, we should have some information, and we do. All right, because what I do, this is populated. It's populated with some information. We know, what do we know? 10.16.11.1. Well, I suspect 10.16.11.1 is this router, right? Because when I did my IP config, my default gateway was 192.168.1.1. So I believe 10.16.11.1 is the router. But how do I find out? Let's just say show IP interface brief. Give me a summary of my interfaces and their IP addresses. Here we go. 10.16.11.1 is G00. And my default gateway was 192.168.1.1. All right. Now, that I suspect these two networks are directly connected. But how do we find out? Show IP route. Press enter, and you get your routing table. 10.16.11.0 network /24 is directly connected on interface G00. And that's what I saw here is 10.16 G00. And then the 192.168.1.0 is directly connected on G01. G01, 192.168.1.1. And this is the 0 is the network /24. All right, so I have some information. And when I did show IP ARP, I got the ARP table, address resolution protocol table, and it told me a little bit about the network. So I know one is the router. I know 2 is a switch. I know 3 is a switch. Then we have 4 and 254. Now these two devices have communicated with the network, but there's a 5th device that's missing. There's a 5th device. Is it? So we know in subnetting when you have a /24. When you have a /24, you have 254 usable hosts. So right now we know about 200, 1, 2, 3. So 253 to 1, 250, right? So that leaves us 250 IP addresses that can be assigned to something. And out of the 250, one of them belongs to one of the PCs. We don't know which one. But while we're here, let's look at the MAC addresses that go along with these IP addresses. Specifically, the ones that are not the routers and switches. So 4 ends in C2 6A. Wait a minute. That's an endpoint, and it doesn't match. Our MAC addresses here. Is it possible that we were given the wrong MAC addresses? All right, what about the other one, 254? Well, 254, we never had the MAC address, so now we have it. All right, why don't I just document just copy this. Right click and copy. I'm going to put it in here just for documentation purposes because now I know the MAC address. I'm going to use that later. So back to the PC. I will send a broadcast. So ping. How do you send a broadcast? Well, the last IP address in a network or subnet is usually the broadcast IP address. So if 0 is the network, right? 110.16.11.0 is the network, and that's not usable. The last IP address, 250, 10.16.11.255, is also not usable, hence 254 usable IP addresses instead of 255. If the last IP address is not usable, it is usable, but it's not. You cannot assign it to. You shouldn't assign it to a PC because that's your broadcast IP address. If I ping it, it's going to send ICMP packets or ping packets to every device in the network. Here, let me demonstrate. Ping 10.16.11.254. Sorry, oops, not 254. That's the laptop. 255. 255. All right. Well, I'm getting replies from the 2, which is the switch, the 4, which is an endpoint of some sort, the 3, which is a switch, 254. I'm getting responses from all these devices. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I'm missing one. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. I think I forgot to assign I made a boo-boo, and I'm going to go fix it. Close your eyes. This was part that you weren't supposed to see, but now you get to see what the other side looks like. All right, and let me just fix this very quickly. I'm gonna go to no, it's there. It's there. Why is it not responding? All right, let me go back. Let's go back. Scroll. I zoomed in. If you want to zoom in or out, they're up here. You can zoom out and you can zoom in. All right, zoom in so that you can get a better view. So I'm gonna go back to the PC4. Now I don't see that other PC, but we'll find out when we get there. We'll find out why that PC is not responding. Not sure why. It's on the right VLAN. It's got an IP address. Interface on. Troubleshooting. Hey, things don't always go as planned, even as you're making a YouTube video. All right, we'll figure that out in a moment. But let's keep going. So we know some information here. We have 2 devices. The third one is an anomaly. I don't know why that's not working, but we'll find out. So what I want to do next is from the router, I'm going to telnet into one of the switches. So telnet 10.16.11.2. How do I know it's .2? Well, I have the documentation here that tells you. But also, we saw that .2 was one of the IPs that responded. So telnet password is cisco 123. Okay. Enable password is cisco. Show IP. Nope. Show MAC address table. Dash table. Okay. Now I know to use MAC address table because it was in the hint. Alright, so when I was on the router, let me scroll up for a second, and I hit show IP ARP, I got 4C37 for the MAC address, last 3 characters of the MAC address for 254. Now there was this 4 IP address that ended in 2C26A. I know it was not one of the network devices, the router and the 2 switches. So now I have the MAC address table and I see C26A. That has got to be the MAC address of an endpoint. Which one, I do not know. But I'm going to save that for later. And it's on port 15. C26A is on port 15. Oh, wait a minute. that is the IP address, C26A. When I look at the router, C26A is 10.16.11.4. So I'm going to copy the IP address, and I'm going to say, this is an endpoint with this MAC address of some sort. So, oops, let me go down. C26A. Let me copy this. Okay, and I'm going to get the interface now. It's on interface fast. So this is, we know the two switches, so I'll specify that it's on switch 1, port 15. Okay. All right. So that's that. And what else? What else do I have? G01. I'm not sure about G0. I don't know what that is. I don't remember seeing that. 4C37. That looks familiar. 43C7. That's our laptop. A laptop. 4C37. 4C37 is on G01, but there are multiple G01s. Wait a minute. Does that mean G01? Let me do show CDP. I suspect it's connecting to the other switch, because why would one port have multiple devices connected to it? The only way I know that happens is that it is another network device. So show CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol, neighbor. Show CDP neighbors tells me my local interface is G01. That's this one here, G01. And on the other side, so the C2900 is the router. So G00 is going to the router. And then G01 is going to another 2960 switch. Cool. So this is a switch, and this is its port. This port, that means that these other devices, laptop, the laptop is on switch 2. If this is switch 1, that's got to be switch 2. The laptop's on switch 2. So I'm going to take this MAC address. Oh, actually. I don't know what switch the laptop's on, but I know the laptop's on switch 2. So that much I can say. So I'm going to go here and update this. So I know it's on switch 2. I'm documenting as I go, so I don't forget. So I know this laptop's on switch 2. What else do I know? When I looked at the ARC table, what other device is there? C26A. C2 is the 4. I already documented that. 4. Okay, this is a switch. This is a switch. This is the router, the .1. I don't have any more information, but there's this other device. I know G01 is the other switch. And I know G00 is, and I know 15 is this device 10.16.11.4. But there's this device, F02. I don't know what this is. I didn't see that on the router. I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna document that. Now, if you have a count of devices on your network, which in real life you will, you're gonna need to ask the person, "Hey, is that endpoint up? So port 2 is port 2 connected?" So I'm going to. This is switch 1. Switch 1, port 2. You can ask people questions. They give you wrong information. Currently, I know that well, at least one of these MAC addresses is wrong. It could be even both, because I have two completely different MAC addresses here. So, yeah, that person may need to verify the information of their devices. So let's go. Let's check our, show the status of the interfaces. Show interface status. So F01, which we know is connected to F01. Wait a minute, D. So F01, F02, what are they connected to? Alright, so F01 is connected to something. F02 is connected to, we have not connected, a bunch of not connected. And then F15 is connected to something. F15? Yes, F15. So it looks like we have 3 devices connected here. Honestly, from what I know, this might be a glitch in packet tracer. So I'm going to go conf interface F01. I'm going to, not F11, F01. I'm going to shut this down and no shut. Go to F02 using up arrow and F02. I will shut that down and no shut it. Shut down. It's taking a moment. Connection timed out. Remote host not responding. Remote host. What in the world? I just get kicked out of this switch. Oh no. Oh snap. I think I just shut down my connection to the router. Wait a minute. I thought my connection to the router was. Oh no. Now it makes sense. I was looking at the remote interfaces. And I just shut myself out of the switch. Oh man. Guess what we need to do now? Real world situation is you shut down your connection to your internal network. Nobody can get out onto the internet. And now you have a bunch of angry users. Now, if it's not a building or something you can walk to, you have to drive. Let's say if it's an hour, you got to drive an hour to go there. Or you can recruit someone who has a console cable to log into this device, or someone who has internal network access to log into this device and run some commands for you. I don't know who you're going to get to do that. Maybe a local tech. All right, so we have officially shut down F02, which was our connection to the router. We don't have access to this network at all. If I try to tell him, I cannot. It is shut down. If I go on the router, I'm on the router. Let's look at show Control Shift 6. Show IP interface brief. Telnet to, wait, can't get to the router? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't get to the router. The router's 10.16.11.1 interface, but I should be able to get to the router's my default gateway, 192.168.1.1. This is completely unplanned. That was boo-boo, and this is turning into a very interesting lab. Cisco 123. Enable. Alright, and Cisco. Alright, show IP interface brief. Alright, so notice G00 10.16.11.1 protocol is down. That's our internal network. And then 192.168.1.0. I mean, the status is up, which means it's physically connected. But the protocol, the IP, the connection, because the other side is down, there is no communication. So because the communication is severed, it's down. G01, we can connect to the router on our G01 interface because we have connection to the router, so we can communicate with the router, but nothing beyond that. So this router cannot ping 10.16 10.16.11.2. Not gonna happen. 100% fail. Okay, so I called the local site tech. I said, hey man, need your help. So the local site tech shows up. He's like, all right, I'm on the network. What do you need me to do? I'm on one of the PCs. Let's say PC2. And he said, all right, I need you to, go into command prompt or whatever it may be. And let's just, let me see that. And I need you to, try and Telnet to switch 1, 10, 16, 11.2. And he's like, okay, I typed Telnet 10, 16, 11.2. It's trying 10, 16, 11.2, but it's not connecting. Okay, is the PC connected? Can you verify? What's the IP address of this PC? IP config. 10, 16, 10, 166, 11.16. We don't have a 10, 166. It's supposed to be 10, 16. Oh, so this must be that PC that was misconfigured. Ooh. Can you change the IP to 10, 16? Let's make sure it's correct. All right. I'm going to change it to 10.16. Make sure that's correct. Well, let's try again. Telnet 10.16.11.2. Oh, I'm in. All right. So me as the network admin on the other side, I can't get to this device, but someone on the network can get to this device. So Cisco 123 is the password. Enable, right? Cisco is the enable password. Now, please turn on port FA02. So conft, I'm instructing them to go to conft and then type interface F02 and press enter and then type no shutdown. Press enter. Okay, now let's verify me on my side. You said, okay, I did it. All right, thank you. Let me check to see if it's back on now. So we're gonna go back. We're playing two roles here. We're playing the local site tech, and then we're playing the network admin who did some really not very smart. Let me zoom out a bit so we can. Ooh, too far out. Zoom back in. This looks tiny. All right, and adjust everything so it fits in the window. Okay, so we're gonna go on to. We're on the router. We're gonna try to ping the 2 again. Oops. Ping 10.16.11.2. Waiting. Oh, spanning tree has. Oh, we got response. Yes, thank you, local site tech, for saving the day. You've been relieved of your duties. Thank you so much. You are awesome. You saved my butt. Now these angry people will, go on a hunt for me. All right, so now let's tell that 10.16.11.2. Yes, we're back in Cisco 123. Enable Cisco. All right. So back on the switch and show CDP enable. The mistake I made was I forgot where I was. This is the local interface. This is the remote devices interface. Now when I did show MAC address table. Oh wait, I don't have all. Oh wait, did I already do? No, I did show IP ARP on the router. But okay, so show MAC address table gives me not a whole lot. I know FA02 goes to the router and G01 goes to the switch. And okay, I don't know what other devices are on this thing. Let me go back for a second. Let me check my ARP table. Show FP ARP. I don't. Oh goodness. I don't have the 254 and the 2. I don't have any of that. None of that has communicated. It just disappeared. Uh-huh. In fact, you notice the H time on this? Because it was disconnected, the age time kept increasing. All right, so let's get moving here. So I'm gonna ping my broadcast again to get a lay of the land. Ping 10, 16, 11, 254. All right, everything's gonna get pinged. Now, please don't do this on your. I mean, I guess you can do it on your internal network. Not 254. Sorry, 255. 255. 254. We know is a laptop. All right, so I'm getting one more device that wasn't showing up before. Now hold the phone. We know 2 is a switch. We know 4 is the 4 is what is 4? What is 4? 4 is an endpoint. This one, this MAC address, 10.16.11.4. And then now we have, and 254 is a laptop. Now we have 16. That was the one that was misconfigured that had 10.166. Now it's showing up. It had the wrong IP, that's why. But it was still, if we do show IP ARP, and then 70E1, 16 is D62A. Okay. 70E1, okay. 70E1 is the router. Remember that FA02? That was it 02? 01? I don't remember. Show CDP. CDP name it. 01. 01. They went to the switch. Remember that one? Oh, wait a minute. They're both. This is connected to 2 switches. And 102, 101. I don't know which is which. I'm all kinds of confused. Let's Telnet. Let's Telnet to our 10, 16, 11.1. So 11.2. Switch 1. Cisco 1, 2, 3. Enable Cisco. Show MAC address table. It's dash table. Alright, so the DE, this one, 02 goes to the router. If you say show CDP neighbor, you'll see that 02 goes to the router. Show CDP, not CPD. Alright, 02 goes to the router. This is the local interface. Goes to that router on that interface. Okay, so that's F02. That's the 70. So this is a switch. This is the actual switch, not an endpoint. Now the endpoint that we did not have before, we know this is an endpoint, port 15, and that had an IP address of .4 somewhere here. 26 C26A, C26A. I don't see that here. My ARP table. That's weird. C26A, 10.16.11.4. Come back to that. But the 16 here, D62A, that's new. D62A is connected to port 1. D62A. Let me copy that. So either PC1 and PC2 are D62A. Now we need to recruit that local site check once more. Help us figure out which one of these is PC4 and PC3, 10, 16, 11.4, 11.16. All right, so this is what this switch tells us. Now we don't know what port, we still don't know what port this laptop is on switch 2. So why don't I exit out of here? Although I could telnet from here. I don't want to do too many telnets from one side to another. All right, so we'll use the router. Telnet 10, 16, 11.3. So, okay, now what do we want? Show MAC address. Okay. Address. And we want that 4C37. That's connected to port 1. Remember last time when we checked, we had G01s, a bunch of D01s, and 4C37 was part of that G01 group. Okay, the devices are on that interface. But now we see that it's the specific interface that this is on, 4C37, is on port FA01 on switch 2. So let me update this information. All right, so we know the laptop's IP address, we know the laptop's port, we know the laptop's MAC. PC3 and PC4, we don't know. So, but we know it's either 4 or 16. That much we know. So, it looks like there are other devices connected here. No. This is going to G01. This is going to G0. There's only one actual device here. We know this is the router. We know. Oh, this is D62A, not C62A. D62A. There's a C62A. It's on port 15. There's a D62A. The C62A is not showing up here at all. Interesting. Okay, let me go back to. I want to make sure this is correct. I'm having doubts. Oops. If you see this, do Control Shift 6. And, oh, not when you're remoted in. When you're remoted in, it doesn't let you. You gotta wait a whole, I don't know, 2 minutes before it realizes that you're not trying to connect to Google. You can turn that off by typing no IP domain lookup. That usually does the trick. No, in global config, you're going to type no space IP space domain dash lookup. I'll do it in a second. I'll show you why. This is why you should turn this off. I'm here making a YouTube video. This thing is telling me to take a recess. You know, eat a Kit Kat. This is unnecessary. Come on now. I need to figure this out. Alright. Conf no IP domain lookup. Alright. I won't have to do that again. Let me save my work. Copy line start. Okay. Save that. Exit. Exit again. Troubleshooting, people. This is not clean. It's not pretty. We're figuring things out. And as you're figuring things out, I hope you're learning something through this. Practice and practice and practice. I made a mistake here, and it happens. You know, this is what happens in real life. This stuff happens. All right, so let's see. Show IP ARP. Now we have, I'm gonna do that broadcast again, figure out 10, 16, 11, 4. 10, 16, 11, 4. What comes up when I ping 10, 16, 11, 4? It does ping back. Now it show IP ARP. It does show up. And it is an endpoint, C26A. Is it on switch 1 or switch 2? Telnet 10, 16, 11, dot 2. So 1, 2, 3. Table, cisco, show, MAC, address, table, boom. And it is on port 15. That is correct. I guess it didn't show up in the broadcast last time, but it is an end device. It is one of the two PCs, I'm guessing, because that's the only other thing that's there. We have port 1, which has a PC, and port 2. Now, we don't know, so we're going to have to just recruit someone to take a look at the switch and figure out, maybe there's a wall jack, patch panel, from the switch to the patch panel, from the patch panel to the wall jack. What is the label of, what is the physical label? What is the host name of this device? Let's find out. And so we know we have C26A and D62A. Try and remember that. So I'm going to go here. Oh, look. There's switch 2 connected to the laptop. And we don't know what port. So IP config. I want to figure out the details of this PC. IP config pod. I want to look at the physical. So we have two interfaces here. Some Bluetooth interface, which I don't care for. And neither should you. But we have our fast Ethernet 0 interface, and the physical address is D62A. This is PC2. Let me go back and document that. D62A, let me go to our D62A. D62A is on switch 1, port 1, and this is PC2. Look at that. We made progress. Now let's go back to our remote location again. Go on this PC and go to desktop, go to command prompt, ipconfig all /all. Expand this window a bit so I can see it clearly. And the physical address of 10.16.11.4 is C26A. C26A, 10.16.11.4. Scroll, find where you are. 10.16.11.4. Oh, what was that? Was that PC1? I didn't know. This is PC3. PC3, not PC1. PC3. So PC2 is 10.16.11.16. And D62A. PC3 is 10.16.11.4 and it's C26A. So let me go back. This is where you are. Left click. This is PC3. PC3. All right. So we now know that, in fact, PC3, not PS. All right. So I'm actually going to delete these two because I'm going to keep them. We started off with that information that somebody gave us. And then we found out that the MAC addresses that they gave us were wrong, but we still worked through it and gathered some intel that was relevant and correct. Right? We had to do some investigating and found out the correct information. Wrong information, correct information. We got the IP addresses, we got the MAC addresses, and we've got the ports. Same here. We had the IP address. We didn't have the MAC address. Now we do. We have the port and what switches they're on. All right. Now the bonus is to configure SSH on each of these devices. So back over here. Let's see. I don't know what switch are we on. Show IP address group. We are on switch 2. So conft, let's give the host name of switch 1. Switch 1. It's a switch 1 because it's 10.16.11.2. Host name of switch 1. We need a username. And the username we're going to assign is Superman. Superman. The privilege of 15. And a secret of canfly. Okay. And we need a domain. So IP domain name. I will name this Hulu. Hulu didn't pay me for this. It's not a plug for Hulu because they paid me. All right. So even more reason why you should subscribe. Come on, get me to at least. Come on, give me 100. 100 views. Let's get 100. I know it's the low bar, but let's get 100 views, people. IP domain name, Hulu.com, and then we need crypto key generate. Crypto key generate RSA. And we're going to say 2024. All right, and now we can go into line VTY. Line VTY 04. I mean, switch. Probably can do 15. I'll do 04. And I will say login local. And notice it says SSH is enabled. In fact, if you keep getting these alerts and they're interrupting what you're typing while you're, in Telnet, you can type login synchronous and synchronous is SYN. That will essentially mean that whenever you get a notification or a log message, you will immediately be brought back to your command line. It will not interrupt you, so you have to hit tab or enter or whatever it may be. That's what this does. And I'm going to set a timeout on this as well. Exec timeout. Not exec timeout of 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, so after 5 minutes and 10 seconds, just like your phone or any security mobile device, it times out and it'll ask you for the password again. So exec timeout. All right. I'm being an overachiever. And so login local, which means use the username I created, Superman. And now transport input. So the connection to this, the input, so the connection to this device should be SSH. Now, if I hit question mark, you'll see that I can have the option of making it all, which would be Telnet and SSH. But I don't want Telnet. I don't want SSH. I don't want to get hacked. All right. So once this is done, I can say end and save. All right. I'm done with that. I'm going to do the same thing on the router. So conf host name is going to be R1. The username is going to be, in fact, you know what I can do? I think I'm repeating this over and over. I'm just going to say, the stuff that I know is different. Like username. Username is going to be Superman. And privilege is going to be 15. And the secret is going to be canfly. And I'm going to need to do an IP domain name of Hulu.com I'm going to need a crypto. Yeah, let's actually I don't know if this is gonna work. Crypto key generate crypto key generate RSA, and I will enter 1024 for the answer to that. And what else? I need line BTY 0 to 4 login local logging send that timeout. How is that spelled? What is the syntax for that? The reason why I'm typing all this is because I'm going to use it. I'm going to copy it. Just want to get this spelling correctly. Actually, let me just copy this. Exec timeout. Trouble in paradise. This is overlaying the other one. Not good. Move this back. Okay. And let's move this over a little bit. Alright, so exec timeout. Oh, goodness. All right. Now, I'm going to copy all of this. Copy. Control C. Since I'm going to let you right click and copy. Control C is how you would copy in this situation. Alright, so now if I come here, and so the host name I have to do manually. The rest, if I come here and I right click, select paste, it fills it all out for me, except I spelled privilege wrong. So let me fix that. Oh, no D. Oh, goodness. Privilege. No D. Please excuse my spelling. Alright, so this should be done. And, enable SSH is there. Alright, so N, copy, run, main config, startup config to save, doing the different variations of saving so you can see it. Alright, so R1, now let's Telnet to the third switch, or the third network device, which is the second switch, 10.16.11.3. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Enable, cisco, and copy. I'm going to paste what I already copied. I mean, if you didn't see me, I just came here, I copied all of this, I hit Control C to copy it, and I go back to, so this is the switch, and we'll call it, in fact, we just say host name, or H, there's going to be switch 2. Notice this changes over here, and then I paste, and after I paste, it all gets populated like it's supposed to, except, oh, I spelled secret incorrectly. Goodness gracious, what is going on? Let me fix that. So this is all here. And now I can exit. And fix secret. Now the downside to these is if you don't install things correctly, it won't work. You have to catch your errors. So Control C. Actually, I don't need everything. I just need the part that did not work. So let me just copy this. Control C again. Let's go here and paste. Press enter. And when you press enter, it should save. There we go. It's saved. So now, let me go back to the router. And I will check that. Show. Let me save. I didn't save. Show run. And I want to see if username. Show run pipe include username. No, it's not there. Goodness gracious. I would have gotten locked out of this device. So let me fix that. There we go. All done. And this is the end of the lab. Everything's completed. If I try to Telnet 10.16.11.1, it lets me Telnet to 10.16.11.1. I wonder why. Oh, no, it doesn't. If I try to Telnet, it's using SSH. It's asking me for a username. Okay, so I can't do that. I can't Telnet. Alright, so SSH music Superman. Provide a username already, so it's asking for the password. Password is canfly. And I'm in. I'm privilege 15, so it takes me right here to privilege exec mode. And I have to type enable to get to privilege exec mode. Alright, so Telnet to -L, SSH-L, Superman, 10.16.11.2. For a password, but the username is already provided. Password is canfly. And here we go. Switch one. And I'm going to Telnet. SSH-L Superman 10.16.11.3. I don't have to do it this way, but I can just connect from the PC right to these devices. But exploring. Canfly. Switch 2. Switch 1. PC. No. I could have done this, and that would still work. I don't need to go through the router. I can just connect directly to the devices. Oh wait, that did not work. What? Uh-oh, something's misconfigured. Probably doesn't have a default gateway. That's my guess. Let me try 11.2. See if that works. Response. And if I did this, get SSH to 11.2. Voila. Alright, so let's go and fix that one without a default gateway. I guess I can do it from here. Canfly. SSH-L Superman 10.16.11.3 and canfly say country and actually do show include defaults. It does not have a default gateway, so IP default gateway and 16.11.1 is his default gateway. Do all things that are important to do when you are configuring your device. Alright, Save that. Exit back to the PC. And let's try this again. It was 11.3, right? We can ping it now. And also SSH. Okay, people, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sticking it through. Remember, if you want, as you develop your skills, you got to repeat labs. You got to do the hands-on training. You're going to make mistakes. Eventually, as you do it over and over, you'll start catching your own mistakes. Your attention to detail will increase. You'll develop better familiarity, and you'll become an awesome network engineer and make six-figure throughout your career. Thank you for your time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you, and take care.